Okay, and now let's talk about the weekly task list. Okay, so week number 1. First, please create your Google account. Okay, so for example, your first name dot, your last name dot, S means spring, year 2021, right? So for example, this is my, right now, I just create my Google account. So my first name dot, my last name dot, and then S is a spring.21@gmail.com, right? So please create your Google account. And okay, and do not use this Google account for any personal use. Okay, use this account only for the class. Okay, because later on I may ask you to email your password, for example, to check your homework assignment and etc. Right? So do not use this account for your personal use. This is only for the class, right? Just for the class assignment and note taking and labs and etc. Okay? And then using this Google account and create an account on w3school.com using this Google account above. So go to the w3schools.com, right? So this is your school, right? You know what? I'm going to log out. Okay, I'm going to log out. So you can sign up, right? I already signed up and I already create this W3 School account using the Google account. So I'm going to log in, and this is my the Google account I've just created, right? And then I'm going to log in. Okay, so then, right? So then you'll go to the w3school.com, right, and go to the tutorial, and then learn HTML. Okay, so when you look at this HTML, so there's a starting from the home, introductions and editors, right? So for example, let's just so there's many different topics, right? Our goal is to finish everything up to for this and maybe the middle of the next week. Just goal is to finish up to this point, HTML versus XHTML. Okay, so now let's say, okay, so that's our goal, right? So any questions about your creating this account on w3school.com, basically. So that's how you should create your account and log in, right? Okay, now let's just start with the HTML tutorial, HTML home, and I'll show you how you can start this the learning HTML, right? So now HTML home, easy learning with HTML, try yourself. So let's say this is the HTML document, and you know that it's so what you can do is just click try yourself. Okay, and then this is the HTML document, right? And when you click run, and this is the output. Okay, so for example, I can change to this is the heading and this is a paragraph, and then maybe I can add another paragraph. Maybe the first thing that you can do is maybe you can say hi, you know, and then you can run. You see that hi and hi, right? So basically, I like this site because their approach is pretty much learn by examples. Okay, so, and then maybe so this is a heading. So and then you can say this is heading number what? Heading number 1, right? And then you can run, and you see some changes, right? So you know that this is a heading, right? This corresponds to this line, and this is the paragraph. You see that, right? And then you know that it's HTML always begin with this tag, HTML. Okay, by the way, this is like a this is always for all HTML document. This is something that you have to add, right? It's a doc type and then HTML, and then you study the HTML tag, and then it end with the HTML, slash HTML tag, and this is like head, and then end with the head, right? And the body, and then there is another like corresponding the end tag. So start tag body, and then this is what? This is end tag, right? So this is like a body of your HTML document, which is basically this. Okay. So now I just go back, and then so basically you can you can just keep doing this, and then HTML basic, right? Now this is example. This is something we already did, and they explain about this document. So this doc declarations is represent the document type and help browsers to display the web page correctly, right? And then, for example, when you try this, right, and it shows the H1, it's this heading, right? You can really see an H2, and then you can run, right? And then let's say 2 and 3 run, right? So you know that it's H1 and H2. It's really like control the size of the headings, right? The size of the font size, basically. Okay, now, okay, so this is something that you can this is really like self-explanatory, so you really don't need my lecture. So you just go one by one, right? Meanwhile, okay, so this is one thing that I would like to show you. When I click this, you know that as I progresses, my points is what? For the tutorial, my points is, I can, as you can see, I can on the points. Okay, so now, so this is my HTML, right? So look at the inner circle. Inner circle is exercise, and the middle circle is quizzes, and the outer circle is a tutorial, right? So let me just click the tutorial first, right? And this is like a tutorial, right? So let's say HTML basic. And for the HTML basic, I try something and I just play with this, right? And then I just read and then try, right? And then so there, try yourself, right? And then this is like HTML link. The HTML link are defined with this A tag. So for example, when I try yourself, right? This A tag, it's when you have an A tag and then ends with a /A. And this is the URL of the website, right? And this is a link. So when I click this, and this website will want to move to this website. So this is like hyperlink. So this is A and ends with /A, right? So this, and so I run this. So if you want to change this title here, then this is a link, and what this is link for W3S school, So when you run this, you see that, right? But anyway, you play with this, right? And then by playing with this, and sometimes you can change to www, and then you can say what? google.com, for example. Then when you click this website will be directed to this website will be directed to the google.com, for example. Okay? But anyway, so I don't want to click this. But anyway, that's how you should study, right? And then this is like they explain about HTML images, right? And let's talk about these images. So when I say try yourself, right? And this image is a tag to display this image. And for this one, somehow this w3school.jpg is saved in the directory. I mean, you really cannot see this, but the source means this is the image file, which is this one, right? And then this is the size of the image, the height and width, and etc. Right? And so let's say you play with this and you read all those, and then this is like alternative text if the image is not shown. That's like you put the alt, right? But anyway, so all the explanation is here. So when you're done, and then you basically click next, right? So that's the that was the HTML basic, right? And then when you go back, now this is something I would like to show you. And then let's see. When I go to tutorial, you see the mark, right? So when you play with try it, you finish all the try it, and try it, right? And then when you click next, then this will be, that this section is marked, and then you can earn points. Okay, I think it's 1 point or 2 points. I think it really depends on the sections. Okay, but anyway, this is, as you can see, this is marked, right? And then go back to my page, and then you will see this the points, right? Okay, for this class, let me just emphasize this one more time. Don't do anything else, okay? Because it'll screw up your points. System is really to make my TA, make my TA how to grade your assignment. Okay, so if you want to learn something else, let's say if you want to learn JavaScript or XML, whatever, okay, use a different account and log into this w3school.com using a different account. Maybe you have a different Google account, whatever, okay, and then learn. But with this account, right, just click HTML and just learn HTML and nothing else. The reason that is going to screw up your point systems. Okay, so for now, just HTML. Okay, and what? Just HTML, right? And in addition, up to, I think it's up to what? Let me see. Okay, there's deadline. For next, finish up to block and line. It's due by 8 p.m. Next Tuesday. Okay, so just go back. I think this is okay. So when you click HTML, learn HTML, you know that it's up to block and line, right? So starting from here, introduction, and all the way to what? There's a block and line, right? So please finish. And at the same time, okay, for example, let's say you finish style, right? And then you go to this, you click this. And then when you click the inner circle, which is exercises, so I'm going to click this exercises, and then I click HTML. You see that it's every time you finish each section, there's exercise problems. Okay, so whenever you finish this exercise problem, you'll get on some points, right? So for example, so it's starting from the HTML attributes and HTML headings. There's 5 exercise problems and etc. Right? And so you finish all this exercise problem. I think some sections they don't have exercise problem. Okay, but many of them they do. But I think a couple of sections they don't have exercise. But anyway, finish all the exercises up to block and inline by next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Okay, so when you finish the exercise, you'll get some points. The good thing is it's not really difficult, because why? Whenever you have some problems, you can just click show answer. Okay, and then you can finish this exercise problem. Okay, this and end of probably next week, I'm gonna ask you to build your own HTML website. Okay, so make sure that you spend enough time, right? You allocate enough time to study this. You are not just, okay, oh, professor, this is easy, I'm gonna just copy down the answer, right? But then you will have a problem when I give you the midterm exam or when I give you the assignment, right? If you just blindlessly just follow this, okay, I'm gonna just show the answer, I'm gonna type, I'm gonna get on points, and I'm done, right? Then you will have a problem, because I'm gonna give you the maybe on the midterm exam, I'll give you just show you one website, and then I'm gonna ask you to write a HTML. Okay, so it's very important for you to actually study, not just to follow this blindly. You know the difference between actually study the material, right, versus just to blindly follow this example, right? There's a big difference. I mean, you guys all now is all graduate students, so you know what I mean, right? But anyway, so that's what you have to do. So basically, don't worry about the quiz, okay, at this point. So if you go to the HTML, the middle circle is a quiz. So don't worry about the quiz. Don't take the quiz. Just the tutorial. Every time you finish each sections, and then take the exercise. I mean, take this exercise problem. Okay, complete this exercise problem. Okay, so finish the tutorial and go to, and then complete the exercise problems, right? So back and forth and back and forth. Or maybe you just finish all the tutorial and then you can finish all the exercise problem. It's up to you. It's totally up to you. So any question? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I have small. Okay, yes, you can.
Okay, no, you go ahead.
My small question is how to submit these
okay, good.
assignments.
Yes. So that's something I'm going to talk about right now. Okay, now you finish everything, right? Then I know that sometimes for me I use the a snipping tool, right? And what I'm going to do is so this is my point, right? So,
yes.
And then I'm going to screenshot. I'm gonna get this screenshot, right? Oops.
Okay.
Where is my? Okay, so this is the proof, right? So I can see the points, right, for the tutorial, and I can see the points for the exercise, right? And then please submit this JPEG file. So please save it as a JPEG or the PNG, some well-known image file format. Okay, so for me it's like a file, save as, right? And then please use the PNG or JPEG, right? But anyway, okay, now then just go to the content in the assignment. I'm going to create the submission link. So only thing that you should do is before 8 p.m. next Tuesday is submit what?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, submit this image file. Because my TA routine is going to take a look at your points, right, for the tutorial and points for the exercise. So any question? So make sure that you...
I have a question.
Yes.
So in the beginning of the class, you were talking about quizzes in-class quizzes, right?
Yes.
So that quiz and this quiz is different, right?
Pardon?
So like in-class quiz and this quiz, W3 school quiz is different.
Oh no, it's different.
Right?
No. Actually, okay. The attendance quiz is, I'm gonna make the attendance quiz like on my own. So it's not really from the W3 school. No. Okay. You know what? Don't worry about the attendance quiz. I mean, just make sure that you show up. Okay?
Okay.
And then don't worry about the attendance quiz. As long as you show up, then you'll get 10%. Okay, so
Okay.
so don't worry about your
I was about to ask you like what will be the format of that and
no attendance quiz is going to be like something like, for example, something that we learned today, right? It's like, for example, what, so what is like, this is, for example, okay, what is this source means, for example, like, but when I give you the attendance quiz, remember, we're all going to solve the problem together. Okay, so I'll give you the answer actually. So attendance is, just like I said, the main goal of attendance is to encourage your what?
class participation.
Yes. So please just show up. Then you'll get 10%. So as long as you show up, then you'll get 10%. That's like the idea behind the attendance quiz. But I think attendance quiz will be many attendance quiz will be given when I talk about the XML and the semantic web. HTML is too simple, so probably there will be no attendance quiz. But when I starting to talk about XML and the semantic web, yes, then there'll be some quite number of attendance quizzes. But HTML, probably there will be no attendance quizzes.
Okay, one last question.
Yes.
So like before going to this W3 school tutorial, do we need to read something like theory or something, or we can directly shoot to this tutorial?
No, actually, I think this is really like quite straightforward. I don't think we really need to read anything else. But if you want to read, you can always Google search, right? But because this is is kind of basic. It's very straightforward actually. So I don't think you really need to. I mean, yes, sometimes if there's something that you don't know, then yes, you can. And then the explanation on the this site is not enough, then you can always Google search. But it's pretty much is very straightforward.
Thank you.
Okay, and then any question? And another thing, let me just okay, so let's just go to tutorial. And not this, I don't really like this view. Okay, learn HTML. Okay, let me just cover a couple of things, okay? By the way, well, okay, here is the what? Spring syllabus, right? Okay, we're not gonna have any class on next Tuesday, okay? So no class on next Tuesday, right? But we're gonna meet on Thursday. But instead, on the Thursday, I want you to finish this tutorial, and then part number 2 is due by 8 p.m. right? Next Thursday. So basically, you need to finish everything all the way to this. So really starting from what? Yeah, from classes and all the way to the last topic, HTML versus XHTML. So finish this topics, right? So that's a part number 2, and then so basically there will be 2 submission link. So I'm gonna create a submission link, and then also I'm going to create the submission link for this. Okay, so there will be 2 submission link. So please submit, but there's no class on the Thursday. Yeah, so but we'll meet on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. right? Okay, now before you leave, there's a couple of things that I'd like to. I know that it's just a bit late, but since we don't have any class next Tuesday, there's a couple of things that I'd like to discuss. For example, I want you to try this with a different approach. Like, for example, let's say, let's talk about the images. For this image, right? And when you try it yourself, when I click this, you will see the beautiful image, right? An HTML image. We can play with it, right? HTML image, and then you can make the exclamations and maybe like, let's say, some you can play with it, right? Run, and you see this, right? But anyway, and if you want to implement this actually using your own editor, I highly recommend that you download Notepad++. I think it's in somewhere here. Oh, Notepad, right? Notepad++. This is actually it's free. Okay. So this is Notepad++, right? So this is like okay. So I'm gonna create. So Notepad++. You can simply download. It's a free, right? And then I'm gonna say File, New. Okay. So this is a new file. And then what? This is the HTML, right? So I'm gonna copy this. Copy, right? And then I'm gonna use my notepad. I'm gonna just make the copy, paste, right? And then I'm gonna save it in my local drive. So File, Save As. Let's see, and my doc. Save as this PC. I think my document, and then I'm gonna okay. So I mean any directory, right? So I'm gonna just put this file. I'm gonna save this file in this this directory, and then I'll just say, let's say test, right? Test image. And then when you save it as what? HTML, right? Hypertext markup language. You see that HTML, right? So just click this, and then you'll save it. And once you save it, you know that since the HTML document is hierarchical, you click this. So this is HTML, and this is body, right? So basically, you can play with this. Okay, now I saved this test image, the HTML file in a directory, right? Hold on, where is that directory? Let me just. Okay, so this is where I save my HTML file, right? So you see the test HTML, and to show this image, right? What you can do is, I hope I can save this image. Okay, so this is like Tuli, so this is JPEG image, right? I'll save in the same directory where my HTML document is, right? So I'm gonna save it. So you can see now, right? You can see that if you look at this directory, you see this picture, right? This picture, right? And you know that this HTML file is in the same directory, right? And this is where the source, this picturely.jpg, you see that this is a source, right? Now you have this HTML web page. You can use your browser now, okay? So I'm going to say File, Open, File. And then this is my test image HTML, the page that I have just saved. So I'm going to open this, and use my browser, right? My Mozilla Firefox browser actually displays this HTML site. Okay, and this is something I also want you to try, because for next week when I give you the homework assignment, you need to use this Notepad++, okay, to create your own web page. Any question? Okay, and the last thing is, I think the rest of them is very straightforward. And the last thing is I want to look at this, the JavaScript. We're not going to learn JavaScript in this class, but the thing is, this really give you a taste of what the JavaScript is like. Okay, so when I click the JavaScript is for the dynamic website. Okay, so creating the dynamic website. So first, when you try yourself, you see that my first JavaScript, right? And you see that my first JavaScript, and this is header, and then you see the button, right? Buttons, and read the button. So you can click this button, right? See the button, and then actually this is the JavaScript language. And by the way, for your homework assignment, I'm not going to ask you to write any JavaScript, so don't worry. And just this is going to be your last JavaScript that you're going to ever see, so don't worry. But anyway, you see the date functions. So this is a function, the date functions, and your browser will, and the JavaScript is going to run on your web browser. Okay. So this function, whenever you click these buttons, this will activate this date function, and this date function will returns the actual date and time. So let me just click this. When I click this, it's going to activate this date function. So let me just click this, and then it returns, and it shows, right? It shows the time, right, and the date, thanks to the date functions. So I just want you to know the idea behind the JavaScript. And then for your homework assignment, for example, next week, I'm not going to ask you to write any JavaScript, no. Okay? But I want you to know that, okay, this is a JavaScript, and just I want you to know the concept. Okay? That's enough for this class. So any questions about the JavaScript? So actually there's only one section on the JavaScript. Okay, so this is like good enough. I want you to know the concept behind the JavaScript, and that's all. Okay, so any question? Okay, so this is it's very straightforward, pretty much. And then make sure that you finish all the tutorial all the way to HTML and XHTML. Okay, the reason that I split, the reason that I split, this homework assignment and part 1 and part 2 is that if I don't split, many students will try to finish everything the night before the due date. I don't want that. And that's why I split this homework assignment into 2 parts. So pretty much finish half of them by next Tuesday, and then finish the rest of them by next Thursday before our meeting. And then next time we meet, I'm going to talk about the homework assignment, and then I'm going to start talking about XML. Okay? But yeah, so that's the reason that I have a 2-part. Split the homework assignment in 2 parts. If I don't do that, I know there's a lot of people will just try to finish everything the night before the due date, which is really not good. Okay, now if there's anything that you want to say, please speak up and use your microphone. Okay, so I'm done. And then we'll meet on next Thursday. And then, by the way, I'm going to post my Zoom link. I'm going to post the Zoom link for my office hour Tuesday, Thursday, right? So if you have any questions, you can come to my office hour, right? And then ask me during my office hour. But I'm gonna post the Zoom link, okay? And of course, I'm gonna create this 2 submission link. So just submit the 2 image files. Okay, thank you. So let me just
Professor,
yes.
the recordings of this class would be provided, right, Professor?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Right now I'm recording this lecture, so right after this class I'm going to post this announcement as well as this lecture sessions. So let me first stop recording my lecture.